Welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff. I have a major dilemma on my hands in my world of small bikes. Here we have my trusty 2015 Honda Wave 125i. Great things about this bike: we've got disc brake on the front, it's fuel injected. Usually it's electric start, but currently that's not working. I've got to sort that out, but we have electric hot grips, which is super awesome. So I've got a little controller here and I can make my hands warm in the middle of winter regardless of how cold it is. And the other thing this bike has going for it is under seat storage. There is a ton of stuff that you can put in here, and that's not even completely full. I believe it's got about 18 liters of under seat storage. However, I have this. This is a Chinese copy of a Honda Super Cup, and the allure of this thing here is basically that it should not be going on this trip that I'm about to do. And the dilemma that I spoke of only a moment ago is that I need to choose a bike for a off-road adventure coming up very soon. Now, if you haven't already, go and watch the 3 previous videos about this bike. We've got the unboxing. It was a kit set that came from China, which I threw together. We've got the assembly, and we've also got the first ride video. And I did take this off-road in stock form with the 110 engine. Ta-da! We have a 140cc engine in there. The 140cc engine is electric start. We have a wonderful fishtail pipe, which is super awesome and came from a shop that no longer exists in the United States about 4 or 5 years ago. We've got 72 spoke rims. We've got passenger foot pegs, but nowhere for a passenger to sit. The ignition is on the back here. And basically the electrics and everything on this bike are good, and it does work. There are a few things with this bike that are making me think twice about taking it on that adventure. And it's not that I wouldn't usually, it's just that it's not ready and the adventure is only in a few days. I have no fuel tap in any way, shape or form. This copy Honda Cub just has a fuel barb coming straight out the bottom of the tank, and it goes straight into the carburetor. I need to put an inline fuel tap there. Now, I do have a leg shield for it, and it would help massively because the small ride I did on this off-road, I ended up with mud all over my face within seconds, or the front of my helmet, because there is no leg shield there and the front fender is quite short. This leg shield does not fit in any way, shape or form. The mounting points, which we have here and down here, down here, do not align with anything on this frame. So it's going to be an interesting experience to see if we can make this fit. The other big thing is that I've got no storage. I mean, this thing has nothing. You could make a rack for the back, but I don't have time. There's no front basket. I don't have time to make one work. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to sort out the Honda Wave as well, because regardless, I need to use this for a few other adventures. If I don't take this on the big adventure I'm about to do, which you'll see in a video coming soon, then no problems. I will take that on a lot of adventures this coming summer in New Zealand. And if we take this thing here, well, I've got a bit more storage. So the video of that event will probably be a lot nicer as I can store a few extra things. Okay, so while I love the Honda Wave, I do kind of, what's the best way to put it? It's not fun working on this, not because it's difficult to work on, but because all these plastics give me absolute nightmares every time I'm trying to take them apart. I know where they connect and where they disconnect these days. The first time I took it apart, I was almost snapping everything I came across. And these days I've figured out how to make it easy, but unfortunately, things get brittle, you know, it's plastic. It's been in the sun almost every single day for well over a year now. And yeah, I just don't want to kind of break anything beyond repair. I do have a spare pair of plastics, but hey. All right, I am going to undo the seat. The seat is the first part that you have to take out. Woo! All right, the fuel line and also the wiring to the fuel pump are all connected or in some way or kind of clipped onto the side of the seat, so you do need to be careful when lifting it out. Can't really see it, but over here we've got the fuel line. And there we go. That is a Honda Wave 125i side panel there. And you can see the original kind of green coloring wears off. That all used to be green there as well, but it wears off and turns black. And this panel here is really easy to take off. One screw, and then we've got a couple of push fixings here. We can access the main swing arm bolt here, which is the whole reason we've taken this cover off. So we're going to remove the swing arm. Of course, we've got to remove the wheel, we've got to take the chain off, we've got to do a whole bunch of stuff first, but I just wanted to show you how to get in here. And it's quite interesting to see how much dust cakes up in here over the years. It's absolutely insane. I think we can leave the pipe on, and I'm not going to have to do anything extra if I don't have to, because taking the pipe off involves taking the foot pegs off, and it's somewhat annoying. Push drive's okay. It'll probably be destroyed after this ride though. Well yeah, almost there. Finally. Alright, so I've turned the bike around so you can see it a bit better. That whole side's exposed. I've taken the cover for the sprocket off, and I've replaced a 14 with a 15 tooth sprocket. I've put the rear from 36 down to 35 tooth. I've got the all-terrain Shinkos on, so I've got a 275 by 17 rear and a 2.5 by 17 front. So those are imperial sizing, but yeah, they're a really good tire, but they are very soft. So, you know, I could wear away half of this tread depth in a single weekend of riding. The good thing about going from the extended back to the stock swing arm for a little bit is that I get to use the chain cover again, which is going to be awesome for this off-road riding. Woohoo! Alright, so the chain is adjusted. So we've got a 15 tooth front, as I said, and a 35 tooth rear sprocket, both 420. Alright, and the last piece of the puzzle is the wonderful front tire, which is the 2.5 inch by 17 inch Shinko SR241, otherwise known as a golden boy. Finally got everything lined up. Kind of. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! All that's left to do really is to throw the side covers back on and get this thing out on the road and see how it actually handles. Alrighty, now we're back in one piece. It's time to go test it before we put the chain guard back on, just to make sure that everything's working properly. Alright, well it's the next day and I've done some stuff. I'm definitely probably going to take the wave at this point, and I've come to see Andrew and his small hobbit hole. Every New Zealander gets one. And he has an exhaust that's sorted. You may remember this bike from last year. What happened to your exhaust there, mate? Oh yeah? The exhaust fell off on this thing. Andrew's exhaust always falls off. No matter what we do, it falls off. So today, hopefully it won't fall off, and he can tell you what has happened.
Hi. Exhaust fell off. Now it doesn't.
There's Andrew, but Andrew's bike sucks. So now we've got to go back.
It didn't work. We fixed the forks. We'll do it again soon.
And here we are, 3 days later, maybe 2 days later. I'm not very good at counting. And we're finally on this test ride, but I'm pretty sold on taking the wave as opposed to the Cub. Makes more sense. That's super dusty, which I think I talked about when we rode the Chinese Honda Cub up here, that the dust is going to be a massive issue. How you feeling? Adventure biking. Now, every time I come and ride this thing on gravel, I always take a few minutes to get used to turning right-hand corners with the road. Holy crap. Anyway, back to where I was a few seconds ago. It always takes me a few minutes to get used to turning right-hand corners with the road dipping the wrong way because the rear end lets go. And when I was trying to explain that before, I was going around a corner and the rear end let go. I'm definitely rusty. Ah! Ah! Thank you.